Hi everyone and welcome. In this video tutorial we're going to be completing Lab14 Task 6, which is basically migrating between a host and a data store at the same time. We're going to be using the -2 VM again. As you can see, I've got that on ESXi host 1, which is the very tail end of the previous task. If you haven't migrated that back yet, you should go ahead and do that. I didn't include that in the previous video. We're going to basically be moving through vMotion this VM to ESXi2, and at the same time we're going to be migrating from the VMFS01 data store to the ESXi2 local data store, meaning that we're going to be going to a data store on a host where that original host cannot see the target. So let's go ahead and do that. Fairly straightforward. I'm going to right click on my VM and select migrate. In this case, rather than taking the default when the wizard comes up of changing the host, I'm going to select change both the host and the data store. We'll go next. And now as far as the destination host is concerned, I'm going to pick ESXi2. That's good. Compatibility check succeeded. I'm going to go next. My data store is going to be local ESXi2. So basically what we're seeing is a list of all the data stores that are visible to the target host. We see that compatibility check was good for that as well. We'll go next, leave the same priority settings, next, and then finish. So we'll give this a minute. This is going to take a little bit longer because we actually have to copy those couple gigabytes from one data store to another. So we can see that we're only at 27%. As we said, that's going to take a minute or so. Once that's finished, we're going to see that not only is the -2 VM going to be down on this data store, but if we look at the properties for the -2 VM, or sorry, the ESXi2 host, but when we look at the properties for the -2 VM, that's also going to be on the ESXi2 local data store. So this is only 33%. I'm going to pause here for a sec, and we'll be back when that's done. All right, we're back. This is now finished. We can see that the -2 VM is on ESXi2. If I look at this guy and bring up the related objects, we can see that it is now on local ESXi2. So that basically is migrating between a host and a data store at the same time. Not something you have to do very often, but it's pretty nice to have that available so you don't have to have two different migration operations. Or, especially if you want to migrate to a different host and on a storage array or specifically a data store from VMware's perspective, that is only visible to that target host. All right. Now, before I go away with this one, there's some cleanup we have to do for the next lab. I'm not going to bother doing a separate video for that. Basically, what we need to do is make sure that all of our VMs are on ESXi1 from a host perspective, and all of our VMs are on VMFS01 from a storage perspective. So you can go ahead and do whatever migrations you need to do in order to make sure that's ready for the next lab. That's a wrap for me. Hopefully this was helpful for you, and we'll see you next time.